Several have commented in this channel that while Trump's astrology may seem to point to his demise, the fact that he is intent upon cheating in any and all ways possible means that despite the sorry state of his planetary cycles, he will nonetheless emerge triumphant in November. However, I have to tell you, this is definitely not the way I understand how astrology works. If your planets are lined up to stop you, they will stop you. The strongest argument proposed to support the theory that he will win in November seems to be his current ploy to hijack the post office so that he can somehow invalidate the many millions of votes expected in the mail due to the coronavirus pandemic. If you think about it, this may be his only play because recent elections have shown that despite Republican efforts to suppress the vote, they are still losing repeatedly. They tried this trick during the COVID period in Wisconsin, and yet they still lost. The mail-in vote, however, is admittedly a definite threat. The question is, will it work? You see, when you're doing something, anything, difficult planetary cycles make it, well, difficult. If the cycles are very difficult, then making it happen is again very difficult. And I will tell you that Trump cycles are worse than very difficult. There are simply too many planets lined up in stress aspects. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and then the trans-Neptunians Eris, Haumea, and Makemake. That makes 10. And of these, the furthest out is Eris at 550 plus years. But if you want to add Sedna, the planetoid so far out there that it takes 10,000 years to orbit the Sun, then go ahead, add it, because it too is in a compromising place for him. So, the first answer is, he can't cheat because there are too many cycles against him. Just the force of sheer numbers. But if you don't like that, then look at the detail to convince yourself. Where is the male in the chart? It would be in all things Gemini, Mercury, and the third house. Notice the last time around, Neptune was trining his Mercury, and he managed to convince voters that Hillary's email meant she was an untrustworthy crook. Was that true? No, of course not. But he traffics in lies, and Neptune, as the biggest big planet deceiver in trying to Mercury, the best small planet liar, it worked. This time around, Mercury isn't getting any help from anywhere, and Neptune itself is an enormous problem that right on cue, when stationed in the summer, effectively shredded and liquidated his already low popularity. But now, dig a little more to point to the third house. Jupiter and Neptune are in there at birth, and neither is favorable in their current transits. In fact, they are both out to get him. Nor is any other planet helping those two out by transiting in their direction. And Venus, take a look at that. This is the ruler of the house of male, the third in his chart. Look at it carefully. It is getting assailed during election season by the triple Capricorn conjunction and even by Mars, which, as luck would have it for us, not for him as misfortune would have it, just happens to retrograde near those degrees so it can attack it for weeks on end. Of these, the worst is probably Saturn, which will station opposite Venus and be pretty much exactly opposed to it the day of the election. So, the astrological interpretation should not be, yeah, he's got it really rough, but he's a great cheater, so he will just cheat and win anyway. No, it's actually, I see, he wants to cheat using the mail. Well, it won't work. The chart says something is going to stop him. What will stop him? You can make some guesses, but in the end, who knows? Who cares? If something stops him, that's good enough for me. Honestly, I think this guy's astro profile is so crappy, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he's already behind on election night, even before the mail vote is counted. He will be the one needing to catch up through the mail ballots. But when they count those, he'll just lose by even more.